Any other changes or alterations in reference to what's on here? Let's see.
I would also like to add, taking a look back at the subcommittees and revamping those or.
Okay. Great, thank you, ma'am. Okay. All right, with no further changes, alterations to the agenda, we'll move right along. The next will be introductions, and we have a very special guest here this evening that, I don't have any background on, so I'm gonna let him introduce himself, but we're very excited to have our new Economic Development Director, Mr. Christian Green, join us. So, Mr. Green, if you would.
Yes, hello, thank you. I have about 20 years of both private and public side experience. About a little over 10 years on professional economic development for communities like City of Scottsdale in Arizona, and Glendale in Arizona, and then another community on the west side as well. Work heavily with tourism, the Arizona Film Commission, and look forward to working with everyone on this particular committee specifically and in this area. I'm very excited about what we have going on here and having this natural talent and the film studios and things like that here. It's very exciting to come here and be a part of this. So
Welcome, and thank you. We're looking forward. And we're really looking forward to you because you have money in your budget for us, am I correct?
that's what they.
Because now we're recording, so.
Until you take it away from me.
No, thank you. It's great having you. We appreciate it. All right, our next item will be, I'm sorry.
So, money. So we do events, and so before we go on any further.
Yeah.
We need to know are we still submitting the invoices to you? In terms of what needs to be paid from our budget?
Go ahead. Do that.
Okay, and then, how far in advance? So. Not to be in the past, but we did 2 events and it took forever. When I say forever, for them to be paid.
Okay.
And that was for me, it was an embarrassment, and on behalf of this committee, honestly, it was an embarrassment.
Okay.
So I don't want that to happen again,
I understand.
and I definitely don't like burning bridges with people I work with.
Yeah.
So, do we need to have them in by a certain time? Or, and how would you like, do you want me to bring them to you?
Yes.
Is email fine, or?
Email, communication, text, normally what I do with in regards to events, and how big are the events?
Well, it just depends. These were screenings. We wanted to do a concert, but that never happened.
Yeah. Is there a reason why?
Everything keeps changing. So we're just trying to get our bearings and how to move forward so that we can do the best that we can as this commission.
Sure. So there are,
I'm just checking, we're gonna, waiting on another security officer, so
Okay,
we'll be one of the people, but I just want to see who's here.
all right, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much.
have an extensive experience with events, putting on events and coordinating them with various groups. I know that there's the new state law that it almost requires that you have to have a SAP permit 2 months beforehand in order to have an event. I'm working with planning to do a team on the ordinance to get that changed so that we don't have that issue. But that is the only thing that I know that would prevent us or slow us down. As far as paying, I'm used to actually working with not only paying for myself, but also getting community and business partner involvement to help fundraise for that, so that it's not all taken on by the city. It's also spread out across the board. So I don't have any problem doing that as well. I'd like to sit there and if you can, call, email me. I'll give you my business card, and if we can start coordinating and get an idea of what those events are, what you want them to be and when, then I'd like to start scheduling and working with you to coordinate that. And as far as payment, I've never been late on payment, so.
I'm not saying you, I'm
No,
just.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just, it's
embarrassing.
always, right, and then there's always someone new, and then we are behind the 8 ball in the process, so I just want to get it all up front.
Yeah.
So we can just put it out there and keep it rolling.
Well, I'm not going anywhere, so, that an entire program built out here and my job has always been to fix broken things, so if it's, been messed up, trust me, we're gonna fix it and get it right.
Okay.
So, yeah, I will work with you, just let me know, and again, anyone. You know, my information is not on the website yet, but it will be.
Okay.
And so, and then as far as being a good partner, I also have Ashley that I'm planning on, putting directly involved in this because she's our national passport lawyer. So, and we'll get this worked out.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the baptismal. of the family entertainment.
I knew what I was getting
There
into
you
when I
go.
walked
You
in the door,
stepped
so.
All right,
Heard beforehand, so I'm good to go.
all right. Any other questions or things that you would have to ask, Mr. Williams?
Yes, okay, yes, I do. It's got the wrong phone number on it, there's, instead of 4 at the end, it's 2. So I will, I think I'll hand it over to you, you got my email.
Before I go on, thank you, Mr. Boone. We do have a visitor here, and I'd just like for you to introduce yourself and would you like to say something?
Oh, my name is Albertine Young, and the reason I'm here is because I just happen to read my email. My email is Stone Press, and so this is my second coming to public event. So, I'm just interested to see what Stone Press has going on as far as film industries.
I'm glad to have you. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. All right, next on the agenda is Miss Ashley Saylor, who will talk to us about the sound diplomacy survey results.
Yes, so as you all know, I had sent out a survey to the entire commission so that we all can vote on which recommendations from sound diplomacy that you want to implement and which ones that you aren't really interested in. Good news is majority of them, everyone voted yes for everything. And I just wanted to read over some of the comments that we had. So, now we started. So for recommendation number 1, to strategically align existing and future initiatives of the Film and Entertainment Commission and Committee to the Commission Ordinance 051820. We got all yeses for that. So that's great. For recommendation number 2, identify and promote Stonecrest's brand for the creative industry. Everyone agreed, and we have 1 comment. Someone wants to say, creating a compelling narrative and brand identity for Stonecrest that highlights its creative industries and emphasizes its role as an initiative hub for digital entertainment requires a well thought out strategy, a clear execution plan, and its own budget. Also, an essential component of this endeavor would involve the appointment of a proficient liaison who possesses a deep understanding of the television, film, music, and digital media industries. This liaison would play a pivotal role in facilitating effective communication and collaboration between Stonecrest City offices, the commission, the industry, and the community. Their expertise would be crucial in driving the progress of initiatives, ensuring seamless coordination, and propelling the city's engagement with these creative sectors.
Excuse me, Ms. Saylor. If anybody want to make a comment or say something, have any questions in reference to what she's saying, we can start it, but it's having a conversation. So, okay. Anyone has anything to say about what she just said? Yes,
That is right on my alley. I'm glad he pointed that out.
Great to know. So yeah, everyone seems to be on board. Recommendation number 3 is to create a dedicated website for the Film Entertainment Commission. So I know we all already have one, but we all agree that we should kind of revamp it. So that was all yeses as well. Number 4, run dedicated marketing campaigns to celebrate Stonecrest brand. Again, we have all yeses with 1 comment. One of our commission members said, I believe this recommendation can be pursued at a later stage and once the preceding suggestions have been successfully executed. Recommendation number 5 is to establish an entertainment district. We also got all yeses on that one. A comment was, I agree, but this recommendation can be pursued in a subsequent phase, prioritizing its implementation once the more critical recommendations have been effectively and successfully executed.
Did they say what those critical phases were?
No, they didn't leave any, additional details.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, for recommendation number 6 was to create a research and education center for the digital entertainment. Because according to Caitlin's discoveries about Stonecrest, we have a huge digital entertainment that we haven't really tapped into. So, 8 out of 11 people agreed, and we have 3 comments. Someone thinks we should position it for a future goal and use the funds immediately available for other items that can be attained and implemented right away. Another person agrees, but this recommendation can be pursued in a subsequent phase, prioritizing its implementation once the more critical recommendations have been effectively and successfully executed. And the last person wants to know, what is the life expectancy of such a center and how will it be funded? And again, if anyone has any additional comments or concerns you want to add. All right, recommendation number 7, develop a one-stop shop for entertainment-related licenses and regulations. Everyone agreed? 10 out of 10 with 1 comment. This is the same person that said it should be something that should be pursued a little later down the line. It's not as of now. Connect the local creative industries in Stonecrest, which is our digital, film, and media. I'm sorry, digital, film, and music. And yes, we have all 11 people agree. Number 9 is to partner with Arabian Mountains Alliance. We have all yeses for that one. Number 10 is to develop a busking guideline. And so for those who aren't familiar with busking, that's pretty much when someone is like on the side of the street and they're like performing with like their guitar and they're asking for money. So we would have to have them come to the city of Stonecrest and get a permit to do so. 9 people agreed. We have 2 comments. We have 1 comment. Someone said they agree, but it should actually be done at a later phase. Recommendation 11, evaluate non-industry related spaces for events. Again, majority voted yes. We have 1 person that disagreed. Number 12 is to develop safety initiatives at night in relation to live entertainment. We have 9 in agreement, and we have 2 comments. Someone believes if we do this, that we need to partner with the police services because this is their area of expertise. And then another one said we should pursue this at a later time.
In reference to that number there, the city is looking at that when in reference to any activities that the city is performing. So we're looking at the safety and goodness of our residents at those times. So we're already in the process of making that happen.
Okay, great. Number 11 is to create a tourism offer around industry productions and events.
Is it tourism offer or office?
Offer,
Offer, tourism offer.
yes.
Okay, well, I'm sorry.
Okay, we have 10, well, do you want some detail on it?
Read that sentence for me.
Create a tourism offer around industry productions and events. So this would be like Stonecrest can use the natural resources and the environment in their Arabian Mountain location, which already attracts film professions and businesses, to develop a film and digital storytelling tourism product that will also link to the local music and we have all agreements and 1 comment. Someone said they agree. However, it is an essential component of this endeavor would involve the appointment of a proficient liaison who possesses a deep understanding of the television, film, music, and digital media industries. This liaison would play a pivotal role in facilitating effective communication and collaboration between Stonecrest city offices, the commission, the industry, and the community. Their expertise would be crucial in driving the progression of initiatives, ensuring seamless coordination, and propelling the city's engagement within these creative sectors. Okay, so the last 2, For number 14, create a database of Stonecrest creative businesses and talents. We have 8 people who agreed, 1 person disagreed, and then we have 2 comments. Someone says, I agree, but we should include other contacts, i.e. the directors, the producers, and all of the above below the line positions. Another comment suggests, would actors want their information made public? Believe they would, so they vote.
The agents.
Yeah, agents,
Not necessarily their direct number, but their representation.
the manager.
Yeah, agents, managers.
And then, for the last one, we have to promote best practices in terms of equity, accessibility, and diversity within the creative ecosystem. And we have all yeses with 1 comment. Again, someone saying this should be something that we should focus on later on. And that was everyone's input.
Any comments, any questions, any concerns about it? Ms. Sealy just shared.
I guess what would be the process, as far as what they're talking about setting up for the digital film, music and everything, what would be the process of? Is that waiting on ideas to be presented, or is that something that, what would be the steps to having somebody run that, put it together, what kind of timeline with that?
So what I'm waiting on, and I'm doing the same thing with the economic development strategic plan, is to get this and then get it adopted by city council on Monday night. After that, I'll start working on and breaking out all of these different pieces, and I was very interested in the survey, just to know, okay, where is this at and what do you think? And so I wanted to see if there was any, any far reaching ideas, and everything on there is in support, for the most part. I think the comments are valid. And so the next step for me is to take that and build what's called a strategic action plan around this. So what will happen is after Monday, I'll start putting together that strategic action plan, detailing out specifically these different points, and then breaking out and saying, okay, here's a timeline for implementation. This is the action points that need to be done. In the next meeting that we have, I'll lay out where I'm at as far as a rough draft, where that's at, and I want feedback from the team on that. Normally it'll take me about 2 months to sit there and completely build it out. Just depends on how much sleep I want to get that month. Everything but I definitely want them to be working with that, and I can even put it in like a Google Drive shared folder so everybody can kind of see where that's at, where it's going. It's a working document. And then from that point, it's about implementing and timelines and making that happen. I'm about metrics and accountability and driving that to accomplish those goals, because the minute the council approves that, I go in the high gear to put that in gear. Now, I will be incorporating this with the economic development strategic plan. I have not received that yet. I expect to get that by Friday this week. And so I'm very interested in that as well, and seeing where that goes. Unlike the economic development strategic plan, the committee that is involved in that is specifically around the actual strategic plan itself. It sunsets at that point. However, I've already talked to the chairman of that group, and we'll continue on with that. I believe in think tanks, bringing in community leaders every quarter to talk specifically about that industry. I believe that Stonecrest has a strong tourism brand that it is not promoting. And I think that from a standpoint of all these different pieces, it's driving that, and I don't work alone. So the way that I work is I try to make everybody an economic developer. So there will be a document coming out here in probably about 3 months. They'll come out probably quarterly at least, not monthly. That's called talking points. It will really detail by market sector that we are pursuing, what's going on, what we have done, and where we are going, so that you'll have all that information, and then we'll talk about the strategic plan and where we are at on every single one of those initiatives. And in every single one of our meetings, we'll go back and say, okay, what are we doing? I don't want a situation where something isn't paid, and I like things in order and everything handled, so. I'm kind of a stickler for that, so you'll find I've got all these different plans for everything and Excel pretty as well, to be quite honest, to keep things intact and tracking. You know, but then we all know where we're at. So, you know, just so you know, I just finished, I was sharing with Ashley that, you know, Glendale hosted the Super Bowl. So when we talk about events, there were literally hundreds of events going on throughout the city during that time and managing all of that through economic development. So I'm well prepared to sit there and hit the ground running on multiple events and making those a success and working with, of course, fire and safety as well, and planning that out ahead. So I'm going to, and if at any given point where you feel like there's a hiccup or you feel like maybe, there's a concern, literally call, text, email. Like I said, I'm an insomniac. You cannot contact me anytime that I won't answer you. Test me on it, and you will find that out. My wife is used to it as well, so. I was on a private side, I did projects in Dubai and things like that, so there were meetings at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, I am very used to being on the go, and I love what I do. It's a passion for me, it's not work, so I get to do what I love to do. And so just contact me when we have.
Christian, of course, most if not all of these suggestions and ideas that are coming will require some finance. Are we looking at revamping our budget for the film commission in any way?
Yeah, we have to.
Absolutely. I just wanted you to say that.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I was watching the last meeting, I think last Wednesday,
Mhm.
on budget, and yeah, there's gonna be modifications to that budget specifically on economic development. Last week was my first meeting. So, and I took a look at the budget, it's like, okay, that's good, but I'd like to sit there and get more in there. And then also, so you're aware, I'm used to working on private partnerships.
Mhm.
So I also don't believe that it should be just the city's money that is put into it. I will reach out to private enterprise to fund that and find developers and brokers and different people to help do that. So I don't hesitate to sit there and push my private friend to go and fund things, so.
Thank you. And I think it was just not just the money being paid, that's the process of everything, trying to get it done and prove.
What's a lot?
Yeah.
Events are, it's juggling a lot, and I understand, especially the frustration, especially when things aren't going right. It makes you very nervous very quick. So, and then if it goes bad, it goes. I've never had an event go bad ever. And so I'm not about to start now. So I will watch, track, and monitor all things, so.
Sounds great. I appreciate that. Any other comments, any other questions in regards to what this Sarah shared about specific? In addition to that, you think need to be added or addressed? Now, if not, everybody, you said everybody had copied that, so continue to take a look at it. It's a fluid document. So we can add some adjustments to it as necessary. Okay?
Because a lot of things we're already doing, so
Mhm.
just. Let the record show that Leslie Green has
Yes.
joined the meeting.
Thank you, Ms. Green.
That's great.
And the gentleman you just heard from is our new economic development director.
Oh, awesome.
Christian
Christian Green,
Welcome.
so green is the way to go.
I want that t-shirt, my t-shirts. Like that, like.
Like, reintroduce yourself. Yes, I'm Gary Jordan.
Nice to meet you.
We just on the television, run, an organization called Coalition of Artists, where we do a lot of things that the recommendations cover, including, education of talent, curated screenings and table reads and curated events, which, one of which we're doing with the city of Atlanta. They're doing like a neighborhood crawl. We're curating a short film screening, series of
Nice.
short film screenings for that. So, Yeah, we're looking to do something like that with the city of Stonecrest as well, because from West Chapel, so it's July, so,
Love it. Love it. Nice to meet you as well.
All right, well, thank you again, Ms. Saylor, for that presentation. Thank you. Next on our agenda is Ms. Cassandra Wilson, will talk to us about our fall hall call.
Our fall all call will be on Sunday, October the 1st, from 2 to 4 in our studios. It will have, we have special effects makeup artists, and hairstylists. And they're all people that have been in the industry. And they are going to give their expertise. So if you know anyone that wants to or is interested in being in that industry and wants to know more about that and how to get into the union and how to get onto the set, then please share. I shared it to everyone via email and text. And if you did not get it, I think I have your number. So you can me out there. But please share it out. Also, can we get it on the city's webpage?
So they're currently recreating, they were designing it, because there were some things that they didn't like on it.
Okay, so what?
I did send you an email, I'm not sure if you saw it yet, but, the communications department is actually revamped. So
There's a branding guidelines that's going on right now within the city of Stonecrest. So the new communications director is here too. So just, it was minor. The logo was blue. It needs to be,
Yeah, well, it looked weird.
Right.
Artistically, because I had it white initially, but I mean, can we get a copy of the new branding guidelines? Like we never get
Yeah.
those things.
Yeah, it's-
We're still waiting to get it ourselves.
I know
We've
that
never had it ever. So, you know what I'm saying? So like, to hear it's being revamped, it's like, okay, well, so we can know what you do instead of just revamping. I mean,
Well,
does that make sense?
yeah. And standard guidelines for branding anyway on a logo is that it's not, the color is not changed anyway. So the white or the multiple color list, I think, is the green, red, and black.
And,
Or if you were to sit there and go straight black, you'd be safe within that with some space. Everything, but other than that, it was fine. So if you just, from my perspective, if you remove the blue out of the logo, everything, and maybe gave it just maybe an 1/8 of an inch more space on what I saw, you'll be fine.
Three people have said that they can, assist with the event, so if there's anyone else that is able to assist, that would be great. They will have, I've asked for director's chairs on stage, they will have 3 mics, one for, the MC and 2 for the surround. And then, we'll have a table up front where, we'll have a sign-in sheet. And I can also leave my phone to where they can, I've asked them to go on Eventbrite, so we can also keep track of who's coming on Eventbrite as well. And now we need to talk to you. So usually at our all calls and at our events, we have some type of craft services.
Okay.
So it would be, since it is 2 to 4, I'm thinking, can we get some Coke, Sprite, water, maybe chips, crackers, something. In the past, I've spent out of my own pocket about $200 on these things.
Okay.
So.
Sure.
And I would like not to spend any more out of my pocket.
I understand that.
Because I'm about 600 in.
This commission is a 501(c), correct?
Well, that's what we were wanting to be.
You're working on that? Right.
Yeah.
Okay. But not yet.
Not yet.
Legal assistance through hypothetical, or what is it?
Well, we were waiting on sound diplomacy.
Okay.
In their recommendations. I mean, we've had several meetings about it. And we know the steps to process. It's just we're waiting on sound.
I've had this conversation with Sandra, with Caitlin.
Caitlin.
And she thinks it's a very good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah, because I don't know.
talk about
if we
that offline.
more with.
So
That'd be
we're
good.
gonna to get that accomplished.
Right.
So that will make it easier,
Mhm.
new thing, so we'll get that going.
Ms. Wilson, for those who will assist you, what time you working?
Oh, I'm sorry. So the event starts at 2, so I, plan to be there about 1, sometime between 1 and 1:30. Sunday, October 1st. So we did Sunday because everybody was saying, you know, if they're a hairdresser and they want to get into the film industry, they're probably working on Saturday, which is valid. So that's why we did a Sunday this particular time, because normally we do Saturday. Yes.
So the good thing, the faculty play at night.
Oh, they're not at 1 o'clock? then?
Season level.
I guess it
Yeah,
is.
we're about
Oh, you sound that- you sound that- it's set up on the street now.
Oh, I know, I know.
2-0.
Oh, that's true.
What time is it?
2 o'clock. Actually, I was looking for your number the other day to send you a flyer, but I didn't even have it first. So so anybody that is interested, and I'm waiting to hear back, from a young lady who has, I want to say she's worked on, Black Panther and a couple of other major motion pictures, African-American young lady who does, special effects makeup, because there's not a lot of us in that field, and so we'd like to expose us to us in that field. So I'm waiting to hear back from her, and so that's it, and that's what it will be, and then after that, I'm ready for the next one.
Well, thank you for putting that together. We appreciate
No
it.
problem.
And hopefully you'll get enough assistance. I'll be there to assist you, and hopefully other people will be there also to help with that, so we'll move that forward. Any other questions or concerns for Ms. Wilson concerning this call on October 1st? We'll move on to our next item on the agenda. That's Ms. Mallory Minor, who is on Zoom with us. Ms. Minor, can you hear us?
I can. Thank you, Chairman, and good evening, everyone. Good evening, Commission.
Good evening.
Hello.
So tonight I am here to present the FEM Appreciation Ordinance ordinance. Hold on just 1 moment. Let me get back to my screen here. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen with you all, if that's okay.
Yes. Do I need to do anything? for
No,
that?
sir. No, sir. I think I can share. Hold on. Okay. So I am sharing my screen, and what you all see before you is basically the FEM Appreciation Ordinance / proclamation that I sent to everyone back in July. So on our July calendar, we did discuss the ordinance, which would be presented to us. Hold on, I'm so sorry. I think I have the incorrect. Let me stop sharing here. And let me share another screen because I have 2 different. So this right here is our actual FEM Appreciation Proclamation. And this is a working document, so we are still working on this document here. See if I can minimize this and scroll down, which I can. So you all have seen this document, and I don't think this is the one that I sent to you all. I apologize greatly, because I know that we did receive some feedback from Ms. Ashley, and so I did incorporate her feedback into our FEM appreciation draft. Okay, so it was actually the first one that I shared with you all. It was just labeled differently, so I'm going to go back to that one. As we previously discussed, this particular proclamation has a dual vision. So in addition to recognizing our efforts as the Film Commission and recognizing the contribution that Stonecrest Film Commission and Entertainment has had on not only the Stonecrest community, but DeKalb County as well, we wanted to present this proclamation at an upcoming Film Appreciation Day event. Now, we do have our new economic director here with us today, and I want to give him a warm welcome. We did send this to him, but I do want to give him some additional time to take a look at this document. Again, it is a working document, so if there are any additional changes that we need to make, we can do so prior to any commitments in which we will essentially have the mayor to present this. We could present this at a city council meeting, which I recommend so that it will be on the city's record. But we do know that there is a dual vision for this document for us to have a Film Appreciation Day. And so at that particular day, that will be our day and future opportunities to celebrate our day throughout our community, again, recognizing our contribution. So I wanted to share this document with you all again, and I can send it back out to everyone so that we can get just some final takes on this document and to get some more input from our new economic development director. So that pretty much concludes my presentation on this document, and I'm here to answer any questions or just to lead any other discussion.
Thank you, Ms. Minor. Any questions?
Miss Mallory, I sent you an email about adding some add-ons. So I don't know if you received it. I sent it again today.
So I will have to go back through my email for today. Yes, ma'am, I did receive it shortly after 6. And so I will review those changes, and I appreciate that because I appreciate all of the feedback you all have given us. So I will review the feedback that you have sent via email, and we will definitely incorporate those changes. And I will send that back out to the entire commission as well. Thank you.
Ms. Minor, I wasn't sure. Did you have a timeline in reference to getting that information back and then having a date or a meeting set for the presentation of this proclamation?
So I know that we should meet the committee. Hopefully we can meet prior to our next meeting date in October to discuss this item and any other items such as the 501c3. So we definitely need to get feedback within the next 7 days. So I would recommend any feedback to this document, and I can send this back out to the commission tonight once I update the changes that Ms. Berta has sent. So if we can get feedback from everyone by the 28th, and have the opportunity to schedule another meeting prior to our next meeting in October, that would be fantastic. And definitely we want to have a Film Appreciation Day. We can look at, the city's calendar to see when our next regular session is. I know that we want to develop some type of Film Appreciation Day. So that really depends on what upcoming activities that we have already scheduled on our calendar. So we're in the month of September. I know that the holidays are coming up. So it's just a discussion that we need to have with one another.
Thank you, Ms. Minor, for all the work you put in to make this happen. I appreciate it. Any other comments or questions to Ms. Minor concerning this proclamation?
Good job.
Thank you. Thank you all. Okay, thank you.
You take care. Have a good evening. Thank you. And I also want to acknowledge that another advisory committee member is online. That's Ms. Sandra Lewis Glass. Ms. Glass, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Well, thank you for coming. We know that you're somewhat incapacitated. So
Yes.
you coming. How you doing?
I'm good. I've got 2 more weeks. I got to stay locked up, but I'm good.
Do you want us to bring you some chicken soup or anything? You good?
I'm vegan.
Oh, sorry. Oh. Well, soup without the chicken then. All right.
Yes, please.
Well, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you. The other voice you hear is our new Economic Development Director, Mr. Christian Green. So,
Hello, Sandra.
Hi, how are you?
I am good, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
and I don't know if you met Miss Leslie Green, did you?
Yeah, we did.
In relation?
Yep.
Green shirt?
Bridget, in relation?
Green shirt. All greens are related.
Oh, the green shirt, that's what. This is another member of our, our commission, our advisory board, Miss Leslie Green, so, she's on
But she's with the E.
oh, she's.
They don't ever spell it like that on one.
Is it E? Is it E?
It is.
I'm gonna put the E right now, I'm sorry.
Remember,
I know
That's five.
my wife is very particular about spelling her name with the I-E, not the Y or the I, so I do understand about the E. Okay.
Well, I'm a religion in the color, so it
Are
doesn't
you
matter
really?
if you're Christian and green. So.
No, exactly. All right, I'm sorry.
Let the record show that,
Oh, Ms. Forte, how are you? Welcome.
well, thank you.
This is our new Economic Development Director, Ms.
Nice to
Forte.
meet you.
I have a wonderful
Pleasure.
podcast in the city that's doing great things for us. And we're so happy to have her and her husband on our commission. Awesome.
Pleasure again.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. All right, and finally, member comments in reference to discussion. You had something that you wanted to share with us, Ms. Wilson?
I just wanted to add and put out there, or have a discussion about our meeting days and times. And seeing if it's still, feasible for everybody to get here at 6 o'clock. And, or if the days are not working, maybe switch it to another day or a weekend day, a Saturday morning, or, because the whole thing is we wanna move forward and everything, and if we don't have a quorum, if we don't have
True.
people here to vote on things, we need to change. So, just kind of wanted to have a discussion about that.
Appreciate that. Yes, ma'am.
Well, I'm gonna raise my hand, because I'm now employed, actors are not working, so I had to pivot, so. And in my pivot, I'm working from 10 to 6. So I'm coming straight.
And that's Monday
here,
through Friday?
Unfortunately.
Okay.
I mean, luckily, I love what I'm doing. I'm learning another part of the industry, so I'm
Good.
working in distribution.
Okay.
And so, here's a little driving around the corner curve.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Thank you for your comments. Anybody else?
Was 6:30 work for you?
Yes.
Like 6:30.
6:30?
So I don't have to find as much traffic.
Anybody else? Any specific days or times?
Is Thursday still good with everybody?
The third Thursday of every month?
I mean, so are we gonna send an email out to all of the committee members that are not here?
In reference to a
The
change?
time, yes.
Yes,
Well, I don't
absolutely.
think we're making a decision now, but we just.
No, I
need to-
know,
yeah,
but I'm just saying for the record.
Definitely,
So-
because if they're not here.
Right,
Yeah, they
right,
need to-
so, right,
So I
so,
need to create a survey for the commission to vote on it?
Well,
Yeah.
I don't think to vote, but just to
Just to
get
get
the
their opinion.
input,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just give it.
that would be great. Thank you.
I appreciate that. So is that what you want to do?
Yeah.
Thank you. Hey, when can you have that done? So we
Look
can move on.
forward to it next Monday.
Fantastic, thank you. Okay, all right.
Are all the advisory members live in Stonecrest?
No,
Okay.
the only ones that are required to live in Stonecrest are the committee members. Advisory committee
have we
members,
put
Not the
him on the advisory?
advisory members can be anywhere.
No, what I'm saying. Is he on the advisory committee? I don't see his name.
I know, I don't know why your name is,
So, okay, so this is my, and no shade on you, but when and how are we, when are we adding people? 'Cause
well, see, that's,
how are we adding people? Because Vernon and I were talking the other day, and we thought we had a cap of 13. We have more than 13. 1, 2, we don't know the process, and every time we come, there's And again, no shade.
There's no cap.
They're just coming.
There's no cap on
And
advisory
we don't
members.
know.
There's
Okay.
a cap on committee members.
Okay,
And that's one per district. And that's, and that, they can only be
Commission.
commission members, yes. That's it. Oh, I'm sorry.
yes.
Commission members, thank you. And they are only appointed by their district council person.
Okay,
And that's, so that's the only ones that are capped. But
okay,
there is no cap, and we can talk about that as we can add, make some additions to the amendment, have an amendment to the proclamation or the resolution, really, resolution of what we have for a film commission. So, but that's how that works. So there's no limit to that. I mean, we don't want to have 1,000 people, but you know, but.
right,
but-
because the more it is, the harder it is.
But you know, one of the reasons that we are adding people is because, and this is my own thoughts on that, is because the people that we had originally, some of those people are not available and accessible, so we need people, it's sort of like a recycling thing, so the people that are coming in, really, it's really not this many people on here, because really, if we look at the resolution, if you miss a certain number of meetings, you're out. So I've been somewhat gracious with that.
So do we need to start removing one?
Yes, we
All
do,
right.
absolutely.
Okay,
Glad you brought it up.
Absolutely, that's why we're here, we talk about it, that's what we need to talk about. We cannot make any decision or vote on anything if we don't have a quorum, which means that stops, hinders, and, you know, alters what we need to do. That we need to bring to the, to Christian, or we need to bring to the council, or whomever.
right.
So we need people here to vote. Now, I'm not mad at you if you don't show up, if you can't make it, I understand, we'll still be friends, but we need you to be here.
Correct.
So that's what I'm saying, so, within the next few weeks, there will be and I'll choose my word wisely, a purging,
That's the word.
because we need people that are accessible and available.
Mhm.
You know, and I do appreciate this is your time and it's free,
Right.
and I appreciate you offering your services, talents, and skill sets,
Mhm.
but they're no good to us if they're not here.
Correct.
That's the first thing I.
You know what I'm saying? So you will see a purging on the road. Okay,
Availability.
And
is the
that's
best-
why,
say that again.
Availability is the best availability.
I like that,
Yeah.
absolutely, I like that, yes.
you know, I was just saying, that's why I wanted to bring up the time and the days that's feasible for everybody. Cause if you can't make it, I mean, get it, but.
Yeah, that's fine, right, yeah, okay,
But let somebody know.
that'll be good too,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? That would be very nice
As far
to
as,
do
That's
that.
it, but
as
let
far as my
somebody know.
movements, like it'll be
Communications
always somebody
too.
here from COA representing coalition parties, so me here, one of the parties.
Cause I look at it like this, if I invite you to dinner and I got this big spread for you,
I'm
and you
pulling
don't show up, I know you will, Miss
I'm pulling
Miss
up.
Green. You probably meet me in the kitchen before I get the food on the
Do
table.
you need help?
But but if I'm fixing a meal and you don't show up, you know, that's very disrespectful and very inconsiderate.
Mhm.
You can at least call and say, I can't make it.
Correct.
Okay, so, all right, that's our housekeeping and daily spanking for the day. All right? Good. Any other comments? Go on. Anything else?
The last comment was talk of, or revamp and talk about, have a discussion about our subcommittee that we
That's another.
did a long time ago. And, we just need to revisit that and just really talk. Now that we're getting more and we have our economic development, so I think we're gonna be moving and shaking really soon. And, we just need to have, you know, these subcommittees in place and yeah, doing the job.
Miss Wilson, do you remember what those subcommittees are?
I do.
What are they? I know, you're one of the subcommittees. Could you tell us?
We had an events committee.
Let me write these down. I'm gonna-
I mean, well, let's do this. Can you resend that out to everybody? And then let's discuss it maybe, at our next meeting or
That's
something
fine.
like that.
I
And
can-
then that way we can all see what those subcommittees are and maybe do another survey to see who wants to be on what.
We love
committee.
surveys on this.
And then-
We love them.
But two.
That's why
But I want
you're.
to see what.
Okay,
But that's a good idea, yeah.
Yeah, we had events, volunteers, we had, public relations.
We had marketing, didn't we?
Mhm, we had marketing. Speaking of marketing, Mr. Green, we placed an order for some things, and I don't know if it was ever ordered, if we ever got it. It was promotional items, so that when we do have our events, we can, you know, give a little
Right.
whatever. So I don't know if that was ordered or not.
Who did they go through? Did they-
It was sent to, William, the previous economic development. I don't know if you know anything about it.
Can you resend it to?
I prepared.
So you don't get with Mr.
And,
Oh, I'm sorry.
well. The other thing is, if it was not ordered, can you tell me where the city, where we can order from, so that I can go back and look at those
For imprint is
suppliers?
what I heard this morning,
That's the only one?
for imprint,
That's the only one?
I believe so right now.
Okay.
That's all I heard, because I was asking the same thing, for, the, community, for the community education, meeting that we're having on, the next few months.
Okay,
Everything, every third or 29th is fixed, we're doing, every department is going and talking about what that is, who they are, so. And I have 2 questions, I need some giveaways, and I don't believe that we have them, so.
okay,
I'm in the same boat as you, so if you can resend me what you sent, Will,
okay,
we will get that hammered out.
okay. And then we had, events, volunteers, public relations, marketing, and one more, what am I missing?
Was it a
no,
website?
Yeah, we did have a website,
But
but
that
the
was
person
intertwined
with
with
the
marketing, wasn't it?
Only PR and marketing, right,
Mhm.
Brian,
PR.
the website with Joanna marketing as well.
Yeah, but for some reason we had them separate because of, I think because of the web person. I don't know if it was, the person was here or we were looking for someone. I have all that in my notes.
Okay.
But I can't, it
Okay.
was something specific as to why that was,
Okay.
that was separate.
Okay, well, between now and our next meeting, we will have those committees reconstituted, but also have members.
Okay.
On those meetings. on
Yes.
those subcommittees.
And
It wasn't something like if we were doing an event, people to videotape and film and work on that as well, like be a part of that.
we did have a production,
Production.
behind the
committee,
scenes. I forgot what we called it, but I will call it production.
And if anybody here wants to be on one of those committees, please,
Yes. please.
by all means.
So I have a question with regards to the 501c3. I don't know which could answer, but so the city typically may have an integrated auxiliary type 501c3, or would it be a standalone separate 501c3 organization typically? How would that work?
It'd normally be a separate
Separate.
501(c)(3), so that would be up to you to decide. I would think that we probably need to sit there and get some legal counsel, probably for the next meeting, just to sit there and talk through that. We'll be open to that, or I can start the initiation, the initial conversation in regards to that, and see what I can muster up and bring it back in the next meeting. Does that work?
Okay, any other comments in regards to Ms. Watson's subcommittee? Good, anything else?
Yes.
Go
ahead.
No. This is not about this though. Go ahead.
Oh, so, it is going to be October. And for 2 years, we've spoken about a holiday mixer. And I think that we need to start that now. And, if we are going to give away items to the less fortunate, we need to start that process now. And somebody needs to help plan that, because I planned a lot this year and I need some help.
But see, that's what we're going to subcommittee.
Right, but I'm just saying, I have it's a holiday gathering because everyone does one.
Mhm.
Requires a little bit more.
Right.
So we need to start that now.
Okay.
In terms of where we want to have it, what, is it just going to be us? Or is it gonna be us in the public? Or what do we wanna do?
Now, let me understand something. You said holiday mixes, that's like a party or a gathering. That's something different than representing giveaways or something. Are you trying to say combine both of those?
Well, we had talked about both, and we talked about a gala. You know, the gala would obviously be something we do when we're a 501c3 because we can't raise any money because we don't have an account to put it in per se. So, but we've had things in the past where the public has come, but there's so many new, more of us now that I think we should, one, before even a holiday, should just have some type of gathering amongst ourselves to get to know each other offline. And so everybody knows. So Mr. Green, I'd like to know more about his talents, because we sound in line. But I mean, you know, and Mr.
You
Green
just like
probably.
to know about the money, you gonna get your money. Yeah.
Yes, I always get the money, especially in mine. But he also should know more about what we all do.
Right,
And like
right.
what our backgrounds are, and we obviously don't have an hour to do all that. I mean, it takes more than an hour for us to do all that.
I think it's a great idea, to have like a commission meet, you know,
Mhm.
meet all together, whatever you wanna call it. Mixer, thank you. I call it a mingler. I don't know why. I'm inventing words. But I think that'd be something great if we could put that together within like next 30, 45 days.
All right, I can do that.
So now you're gonna be responsible for that, right?
I'll do that. Now, the holiday one, I'm just,
I'm just asking.
yes, I will do that, but I'm just saying the holiday one, because I know that we said that we want to give back to, there's a couple of charities here in Palm Springs.
Absolutely.
And so if we're gonna do that, then we need to have time to get the donations and,
Right.
you know, how are we gonna do this with the city? And are we going to do anything along with the city this year? Cause we talked about it and it, you know,
Okay.
I just want things to flow.
I love flow. That's good. Okay.
Okay.
I like that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, something you want to say.
Well, I was just going to mention, I feel like when the city does things, and I don't know if you can make, I know you can make this happen. But when the city does things like Screen on the Green or anything like that, that involves what we do.
Right.
So I feel like we should be involved in it. I mean,
Exactly.
it's their thing or the mayor's thing or whomever, but I feel like we can help.
I
You
think
know?
that, what I've come into the very first thing, and actually probably heard Malone this ad nauseam. But, one of the biggest issues in any, city is silos. It's a common problem, coming from the private side, and I tell people I take a private side approach to public team. So, you know, when I look at something, I look at it from a standpoint of, okay, but on the private side, the excuses don't get it done. And so from that perspective, it's okay, how do I remove the barriers to accomplish the goal? And like you said, you should have some involvement. I mean, from that perspective, it's looking out and saying, okay, this is what's happening, and there's communication. And so, you know, I think that again, we start coordinating and looking and seeing on the city calendar and seeing what's going on, and then start coordinating and putting our site enterprise engaged with us to accomplish the goal, it will make it bigger and better. Yeah, when it comes to the community and giving away and certain charitable organizations in regards to Christmas and things like that. You know, I know that, you know, over the years, public education and the arts, especially, music, entertainment has dwindled, for public funding for that. So, yeah, there might be a way to connect with the, public K-12, just to see if there's a way to, you know, to give back as far as that. You know, one of the most, valuable things that we have in our life is time. It's what we leverage our lives against, you know, and so, you know, money and throwing money at things and things is fine. But, you know, I would suggest maybe we work with the public school system here and see if there's a way that we can incorporate some kind of community involvement your programming for education or giving back in that regards to young students who might be economically challenged, who have interests in music, film, or entertainment. And that way we're actually creating more of a bond and a relationship with our young students that are here. Just a thought.
We've talked about creating a scholarship at some point. And actually fundraising events for that scholarship. But specifically in terms of the giving to the for Christmas, there's a women's shelter, women's and children's shelter, as well as a children's group home. And so I know that during the holidays, that's, you know, they don't get a lot, if anything. So that was a couple of places that we had targeted, and they were within the city limits. So,
You know, that's a great point that you both bring up is promoting film industry is not C3, but educational and charitable is.
Yeah.
So you almost have to hang your hat on,
oh, of course.
on that part. Cause if you just strictly say promoting film industry, you're looking at different subsection.
Well, I mean, we can operate like that. Like I work for the National Black Arts Festival.
Right.
But we're cheerful about it, but it's strictly all of the arts. And it's a 501(c)(3). But for us to have a donating part of it, and especially a scholarship, that just makes us look even more marketable, better.
Substantially, keyword is.
Yeah.
Substantial education, charitable is.
Well, in your responses to the strategic plan, we talked about a liaison. In the 501(c), you have to have a director, an executive person in charge of that, as well as the president. And so these are all things to think about in that regards, because then, you know, I would almost, you know, suggest with the proclamation that we, you know, fast forward, you know, as fast as we can on the 501(c) to see what we can do to get that in place, because it would be a great thing to have that proclamation and that date be congruent with the creation of 501(c). And that way, you know, when you report, you have to do your economic findings and things like that. We can drive the donations and things like that to the 501(c), which then can fund a lot of what we're talking about. So you don't have the question about where is the money coming from when you're driving that. So,
He's been reading our minds.
I've been watching. I'm not another person on that screen watching, so.
This is good. Anything else, Ms. Watson? Anyone, any other comments? Well, this has been very good.
Yeah, just want to comment.
Yes, ma'am.
I know you all, how long have you all been working on this?
Working on this commission
Yes,
since 2018.
since 2018. We did wasn't quite a 90-minute, but we did an hour and 15 minutes, a 75-minute film right over here on Mall Parkway in 2014. And at that time, I don't remember anything much going on, but recently my daughter and a friend of hers, and I was also involved, that my youngest daughter was involved, submitted a short film to the Swift 2023 in Los Angeles earlier this year. And it came in semi-finalists. These are people that, and when I say these are people, that makes myself and just, you know, people in general, that we, you know, all got together, you know, and made a few things happen. So, Chris, what I want to know is your purpose for creating an entertainment district. Is that for the purpose of just having economic development? development to bring in tourism? Is it for the purpose of helping to bring the community itself up? And what I mean is just like he was talking about, I was thinking about that before he mentioned it. Because I also work in the school district. Is it going to be such that, you know, I know that city of Stonecrest doesn't have a public school district, so you have to, you know, but we do service, you know, the CAP school that's in this area. I would like to see you all kind of integrate, you know, some of those high school curriculums into, you know, things like theater. Okay, and the reason I say that, you take a look at Rockdale, Heritage High School, they have a world-class theater program. And their kids get hired all the time, you know, doing a lot of things, but not only do they have a world-class theater program, they have tons of film that's being developed over there. Okay, and it's from, you know, different businesses that's outside of Stonecrest. I like to be able to see you all create a situation where, you know, not only do you draw, you know, businesses from outside to come and invest in doing a movie or something here, that you create a situation where you get the community involved to where they would want to, you know, participate, you know, where they want to invest themselves also, you know, in their own community. Because, you know, we saw Stonecrest when it advertised all this great, what do you call it, sports activity thing that, you know, that was gonna happen. And everybody's walking around, oh, what happened to it? Where is it? You know, where is it? So, you know, you got that thing that you're dealing with. And the question, what another question is, I mean, is this gonna be a tax increase? You know, is that something that you haven't gotten to yet? And if so, if the community is not integrated into it, you know, they, you know, I don't know. Yes.
So part of the all calls is an educational component for adults and those who are teens who want to learn more about how to get into the business. And those are free to the community. We contact industry professionals who come in and they donate their time and they give their tips. And it's also a way to network that is open to whoever wants to come. You don't even have to live in Stonecrest to come. It's open to whoever wants to come. I teach film. I've worked in film and music for 28 years, and now I teach film. And it is my goal to create a pipeline with the kids that I work with their various studios within the city. And I also deal with the teacher over at Arabian Mountain, as well as Miller Grove, who are inside of the city of Stonecrest. And I'm at Southwest DeKalb, even though we're not in Stonecrest, but we're right at the door. So I'm gonna bring them right on in. So this is not something that is taxable. And the whole purpose of getting the 501c3 is so that we don't have to have the city or the citizens of Stonecrest to pay for it. This is something that can pay for it. But it is open to the community. It is, and when you did your film, correct me if I'm wrong, we did not have what was going on in Stonecrest.
You said 2014, right?
Yeah.
There was no
Okay.
Stonecrest. We did come to existence in 2017.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there was nothing
There was no
going on. But the whole point of the commission was to bring, because there are a lot of creatives that live in Stonecrest, and the entertainment district is an economic piece, because we do want people to come to the city and spend money. But also that entertainment district, what we're creating is, correct me if I'm wrong, separate.
You're doing good. You're doing good.
It's separate because like I said, I worked in film for 28 years. She's worked in film, he's worked in music. So there is a creative community that needs to, be a stronger ecosystem with it so that people know what's here and they can, and we do have people that film here all the time. So it's not, it won't be a tax increase. Jasmine. But I'm just saying, but I hope that answers your question.
And let me also answer in reference to the economic, what the entertainment district, it's everything that you said. It's gonna be all three of those components. It's gonna be entertainment, it's gonna be economic development, but it's all gonna be community involvement too. To ensure that the communities around them will supply those things to those, that district, so they don't have to go to New York and to go to California. But then every resource and everything is right here, or even go to Congress or whatever. So we're putting all those things in place to ensure that we have a strong foundation that can be built upon with the citizens that are here. Now, the reason and purpose, and we also have Ms. Green, who's in Phil, talking too, as a
Over
location
25 years?
director.
Casting.
Now, the reason we have an advisory board is that we're utilizing the talents and abilities and skill sets of those that are in the industry to help us and to forge relationships and partnerships and collaborations so that we can move forward and build upon the great opportunity we have with all the filming and television production that's going on. So we're right, this is, I always say, when preparation and opportunity meets, it's great success. Well, opportunity is here. We have film, we have television, we have all that. Now, the Film Commission is preparation. It's preparing the community, it's preparing the people, it's preparing the city for that opportunity, to take advantage of the opportunity and to grow from that economically and every other way.
Okay, so you all have not talked about incentives and things like that yet, right?
Not as a commission, no, that's something that the city would do. When it comes to incentives, tax incentives, is that what you're speaking of?
I mean, yeah, tax
We don't have the authority to do that. We don't have the authority.
Incentives.
Only,
But you have
council
the
does.
authority to do recommendations.
Okay, I also
So-
want the tax incentive part of your question. Can you explain that? That's me over here asking you. When you say tax incentive.
Well, he brought up tax incentives. I was speaking incentives in general.
Well, I'm
But
asking,
but I
no,
want
I'm
to
asking that what you said about incentives could be many things. Are you talking tax, or what are you saying about
I'm
incentives?
just talking incentives in general,
In reference to what
in
though?
reference to the community getting,
Well, she just explained an incentive.
being able to take advantage.
All call is an incentive. That's what we're
Incentives,
preparing. That's an
if
incentive.
you create a district, an entertainment district or anything like that, you detail it out and you outline the specific areas. There are benefits to that when it comes to economic development from a standpoint of applying for things like the EDA grants, or getting certain, federal and state incentives, that come along with that as a result thereof of creating that district within that district. And from an economic development perspective, I look at the city from all of those different pieces. Currently, there is none. And for me, I'm very interested in creating these districts so that we can start applying for grants and start using these state and federal funds to help incentivize companies to locate here and also to help our existing businesses with getting financing to accomplish their goal. So from that piece of the puzzle, when they talk about incentives from that piece, yes. I am very much aware of that, and it's very excited about that opportunity to sit there and detail that out and create that. But from this committee's perspective currently, as I understand it, it is the incentives and that piece, the economic development piece of it, has not really been a primary focus. But although the strategic plan specifically calls out the education piece, that is a component of it. I think it's numbers 10 or 11 in that list. I can't remember exactly what number it is. But and if you like, I'll give you my card if you want to email me. I'm happy to sit there and share that strategic plan so that you can see it and know where we're heading, where we're going. But in subsequent meetings, what we're going to be doing is once that is adopted by city council, then I'll start putting together an economic development strategic work plan to accomplish those goals set forward in that strategic plan. And all of that is part of it.
And there's also being able to, a lot of filming is done here.
Yeah.
But DeKalb County has it set up where you can use your property and get paid, that's an incentive to me for the community to take part of that. A lot of people may or may not know about that, but I was trying to understand when you said incentive for what? We're bringing something, and this is not against you, I'm just trying to understand what you're asking. Is it to be incentivized for participating with this film and television committee?
Yes.
But that's because we are all doing this, and our incentive is to make our community better and to be able to bring more dollars in. So if you participate, it brings more funding into our community. So I would think that's the number one incentive for everybody in this community. Now, if you're talking about personal incentive for a person that participates, right? Then that looks like being able to use your home or to have your home in a database for being able, your cars, different things that filmmakers need when they come into this community. If you have a store, using that or being able to have that placed into a film and getting paid for that is also a great incentive for people in this community. So when I asked that question, I was trying to understand what exactly did you mean?
I mean, all
in
those
reference-
things.
Okay.
So did we give you some type of insight or answer to
Yes.
your concerns?
Yes.
Awesome.
Good. Well, we appreciate the question, it's a good question.
It was a great question. I just wanted to know.
And I wish more citizens get involved, because I'm sure more citizens don't really know what's going on, so we need to inform the citizens. And by you coming and asking questions like that brings a level of.
Well, you all send out emails, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know if you sent out to everybody.
But they sign up to receive them.
These meetings are recorded, and
All the voters.
you can always go back and look at our meetings, you can come to our council meetings, so we're very transparent and very open. And we're always accessible. I'm gonna give you my card, you can call me anytime, we can talk about it if you wanna meet, for coffee or something, and I can give you some more perspective on what we're doing as a film commission. And, move from there, if you want to.
Thank you for the
All right.
question. I love it.
Thank you for coming, I appreciate you being here.
Thank you for letting me be.
Absolutely, absolutely. Any other questions, concerns, any other discussions before we depart ways from a wonderful meeting this evening?
Oh, I know.
I knew it was something. Go.
I did have a conversation with Howard, who is over here at the new studio.
Oh, yeah, so it's filmed.
Yeah, and they said that they're slated to do, maybe 75 film projects.
Okay.
That they're waiting for, and they're looking for locations, but they're also doing a crew call. They're looking for any and everybody who can, above and below the line. So, and these are paid positions that will be out of this city somewhere.
What's happening with the ribbon cutting of land over there? Have they have?
Not yet, but
Okay,
they've been
but you'll
building
keep
the
us
set.
informed.
Yes, absolutely. They've built that.
Good.
I think they got 2 sets built already.
Okay, fantastic. Well, that's
What
great.
kind of call you said they were looking for?
They're looking for a crew call.
Oh, crew.
Mhm.
Do you know when they're having their coupon?
They're looking, I'll send you the link.
Yes, and I like to put that out.
Because
Okay.
I mean, they're having people to sign up, submit their resumes, and then they're calling people in based on the information, but it's just, yeah, I'll send it to you.
All right, well, thank you, everyone, and thank you, Christian, so glad to have you with us.
I'm glad to be here.
Well,
Appreciate you.
I've been on the, watching from afar from, only 2,000 miles away.
So, we're down the street. Yeah.
Talking to the screen.
Did you get a chance to go to the Super Bowl? I'm curious.
I was at the Super Bowl, I was telling Ashley, those were 20-hour days for, someone, because I actually, have an RV. So I actually lived, about a mile away. And we hosted massive events, during that time for the city, at the private airport that we had, and then all over the place, and we had, it was insane. I will not lie, it took a solid 2 months for the word Super Bowl to be said in my presence without me.
Not a little tip for you.
What was that?
What's
Kansas City and the Eagles.
Oh, that's right.
Kansas City Chiefs and the Eagles.
Oh.
Not Atlanta.
That's right. That's true.
I'm from Kansas originally.
No, that you mentioned.
Chester.
But I was not
No,
a
they
Kansas City Chiefs. I am not. I like Mahomes. But I'm actually a 49ers fan. So.
I can hold it, the name is Green.
Hopefully before you leave, you'll be a Falcons
Falcons
fan.
fan.
Right.
We'll work on you. We'll work on you.
We got 2 wins right now, so.
Yes, hey, we're heading to the Super Bowl. We're undefeated. We're on our way.
We're gonna win this time.